What's up, guys? So on this episode, Mini Cooper stuff, I'm going to be doing some stuff with the interior. I've got a new seat for the car, so I'm going to work on installing that. It's kind of a long weekend, so I've got a bunch more content, so I'm going to do another, going to try to get another video out, next day or 2 days or something like that, because I had a bunch of different things going on that I was working on at the same time. But for the moment, this video, we're going to talk about the seat, so let's get to it. Guys, pretty excited about this. Got my new seat in for the Mini. Nice Sparco seat. I did make a mistake when I ordered it. Unfortunately, it isn't the one I ordered, or the one I thought I ordered. I meant to get black vinyl and it ended up being black cloth, which is fine. I mean, it's still gonna look just, it's gonna look fine, but I wasn't about to return it. It just, it would have been nice to match the interior, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much because eventually I'd like to, put both seats in there, and then I think I'm gonna do, a rear seat delete and put a cage in it at some point. So then it really won't matter. But yeah, in any case, I'm gonna get to putting this in. So first order of business, gotta pull that one out. So one of the first order of businesses is I got these universal rails. They aren't the Sparco ones, but they do line up. So I got to get these bolted on there. So I've got the bolt kit that Sparco gave me, and it's got these short bolts, which I think these bolts will go from the rail to the seat pretty well. But they only gave me a total of 8 bolts, so I think, well, obviously I'm gonna need another 4 bolts, because when I tried the bracket a little bit ago, these ones are way too long. They won't fit into here. I guess I could cut them down if I have to, but it might make more sense just to get some more bolts, because I think they only gave me the bolt kit so that I could bolt the seat straight to the bracket without the rails. So since I'm using the rails, I'm gonna need 4 more bolts. So I need to figure that situation out. All right, so I used the smallest bolts to mount these rails on there. They're all bolted down tight. It works pretty well. It's not hitting anything, it's not interfering. It's pretty good. I was, honestly, at first I was kind of concerned whether the eBay rails would work, but so far it looks like it's gonna work pretty good. So now I'm trying to figure out like bolting to this and like to the floor. So these are the original mount bolts like I was talking about. And like if you look, there's not really any way to get these in there. So there's just no room. So I think what I might do is cut these down, because if you look on this side I can kind of sneak it in. The problem is that you need to have a really big head on the bolt, because otherwise it just slides right through, because there's a really big slot. So I had, these are other bolts that came with the Sparco kit, and then I found these bolts, which are the same head size on there. And if you, I can slide these in here, but the problem is the head isn't big enough, so it slides right back through. So that's a problem. And I don't want to use just washers, because the washers will just bend. So I want to have something that's pretty sturdy. So I think the best option is to chop these down a little bit shorter so they'll slide in there, and they should work. Okay, so I just got done taking the automatic, seatbelt tensioner off. It's got like the pyrotechnics in here. So it's got all this wiring and whatever. So basically I need to attach this to this bracket, obviously, so I have a seatbelt. So the bolt that came with it is really short, so I'm gonna have to find some sort of bolt that I can use to put through here and nut it on the other side. So I'm gonna find something. Yeah, I'm gonna go look. So this is all bolted up now. Everything lined up pretty well. I did end up finding some bolts. I was gonna frickin' cut those other ones, but I found these, so I was like, you know what? That's better than having to cut some. So it's time to install this. Okay, so actually before I install it, I'm gonna do this. This is part of the airbag system. So What I'm seeing is you're going to need to run a resistor basically in line with this to make sure the airbag light is on. So I'm going to take this, we're going to snip her off, and I'm going to find a resistor, wire it in, and yeah, put that in there. All right, so scratched out on the resistor situation. I looked through all the ones I have. I don't have the right size. Apparently everybody is saying you need a 3.9 ohm resistor, which is kind of an oddball size, and I just don't have one. So I don't have anything that I can really make work. So I think I'm just gonna wait on that, do it later. Doesn't really matter. I can probably just order one. So I'm gonna put the seat in. I did just weigh the two seats. The stock one was about 48 pounds. The new one, almost the same. I mean, it's almost negligible the amount of difference it was. I'd say, if anything, the new seat might be 1 to 2 pounds lighter, but I mean, it was really close to almost the same. And I had the tensioner, or the seatbelt tensioner, on the new seat and not on the old seat, and it came up to it was like 47.5 pounds. So I mean, if you go up I don't know how much the seatbelt tensioner weighs, but less than a pound probably. I mean, maybe a pound. It's not a big difference. I was hoping for a bigger difference, but that's all right. The biggest thing is it's going to support me and it's going to be more comfortable, because these stock mini seats are not good. Okay, so the front bolts fit really good, the ones I found. These rear ones, they're too short, so yeah, we need to find some new ones. I gotta tell you, this isn't exactly what I thought. It's the seat actually sits up higher than the stock seat, or at least it feels like it does. It's kind of definitely not what I was hoping. I was hoping it was going to sit lower. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull that seat back out. Honestly, I think I'm going to get rid of the seat rail, because it sits. I feel like it sits like at least this far up, further than the stock seat did. So if I take that rail out of there, it'll get me down to where I want to be. So I guess I'll just hard mount it to exactly where I want it. Fuck it, I mean, I'm the only one driving it, so might as well. So, man, custom, aftermarket stuff, it's never an easy install. You always think it's gonna be, and it's just not. So, okay, to get it the way I want it, getting rid of those rails, right? The problem is that in order for this to sit where I need it to sit, I need this bracket to be like almost on the edge of these bolts. Like, I could go in a little bit, but the problem is that where these bolts are on this side, you can kind of see the problem here, is that if this is lined up with almost the edge, this is just barely in front of those welds. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get that hole drilled. I'm gonna have to drill a hole as close to this as I can, so that this one is back far enough that it's not gonna, so it'll be strong enough. And then my secondary problem is that with this bracket all the way to where it needs to be, which is about in the center of these, it's hitting really hard on the seat belt against this adjuster, which isn't that big a deal because I don't need to use this side, I need to use the other side. I don't know if maybe I can take this adjuster off, or I could space this out a little bit, which I think that's what I'm gonna try to do first, is I'm gonna try to space this out. Maybe put a washer or two in here just to give it a little bit more clearance. Hopefully that'll work. What a pain in the ass. All right, I got it all installed. There's no slider now, it's just mounted straight to the bracket, and it sits pretty good in here. I did end up having to, I removed the little handle piece, this little plastic piece here. Underneath it's just metal, so it's a lot smaller, and by doing that, this is nice and clear, it's not contacting. You see this is a piece of metal there, so this is nice and free, so everything's gonna work. And luckily, since, you know, this folds forward, I've got tons of room. It's actually, I feel like there's more room getting into the back seat than there was before. So I can get to my bottle, no problem, plenty of room, good deal. All right, so I got to think about it. After I took the rails out of there, I was like, oh, you know what? I bet I did save some weight now. So that's like about 8 pounds. So, I mean, if you add that with the weight of, you know, what I thought before, with the, you know, the seat belt tensioner, it's probably close to 10 pounds weight savings. That's pretty good. Okay, so first driving impressions with this seat. Some things I've noticed. One, I think I mounted it too close, a little bit too close. I'd say it needs to be, I'm probably gonna have to change it. Like, I'm not gonna change it today, but tomorrow, probably gonna change it. Maybe move it, I don't know, half-inch back or something. The other things that I've noticed is I feel like the front of the seat needs to be lifted up a little bit. It's like the seat sits too flat. It needs to be angled back a little bit. It's just kind of a weird feeling. And the seat feels a little flat in general. Like, I think it needs broke in. Like, hopefully it's like a shoe and it'll just break in, right? All right, so one of the last things I'm gonna do today is I pulled out the spare tire and the tools. I mean, realistically, I really don't need it, because if I get stuck on the side of the road, this is gonna be the least of my problems. So I've always got my tool bag with me anyway. I might as well take this out. So let's see how much this stuff weighs. All right, so spare tire, we're sitting about 25 pounds. And then the toolkit, that's about 6 or 7 pounds. So we're sitting at about, 31, 32 pounds out of there. So that's good. So I did weigh the tool bag, and it's basically a wash. I mean, the tool bag is about 31, 32 pounds. So it's a wash. But, at least I'm not carrying around double the weight. So, this weekend I've saved what? Let's see, almost 45 pounds, something like that, combined with the seat and the taking that shit out. And I think what I'm gonna do is, since I need to take this interior apart anyway to replace all of the headliner and all that crap, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a rear seat delete. So I'll pull that out of there, and that'll save me, I don't know how much that weighs, maybe 20 pounds or something like that. I mean, granted, at some point I'm gonna put a roll cage in it, so that's gonna add weight, but give and take. Let's at least take some of the weight out that is unnecessary. Okay guys, well, that's gonna kind of wrap this one up. I dropped some weight on the car. That's good. Any weight savings is always it's always a plus. You'll see on the next video, gonna be doing some racing, messing with the nitro stuff. Just one thing to note, I didn't drop some of that weight until after those races. Not that it matters, because it's pretty negligible, but it is, every little bit counts. But next time we're going to dig into doing some more messing around with the nitro setup, and then I'm also going to fix that seat, because obviously I'm not happy with how close it is. So we're going to fix that. And yeah, the other thing is, like I said, I'm really hoping this thing breaks in. It's not too bad. It's got some decent side support, definitely better than the other seat. It's not as hot, which is a plus, because it is cloth, even though I wasn't really specifically wanting cloth. But it fits well in there. It looks good, so all good things. So until next time, peace out.